NZ Aerosports, Icarus Canopies, now Gyro. That's right, we've rebranded, and Gyro is our next generation. It honours our founder, as that's the name we knew him by, but Gyro also marks the start of a new chapter. And not to be biased, but it's going to be fucking epic. Long story short, we're more us than ever, so if you're new to the sport, or even a Sky God Ninja Turtle, welcome. I think our valiant leader Lucy, Gyro's daughter, says it best.
And we still got that fuck yeah attitude. Rebrand! Woo!
Rebrand woo indeed, Lucy. Anyway, head over to gyro.com for more info and get amongst your legends.
I was 19, broke, unemployed, and sold my girlfriend's canopy for drug money. So I thought I better sew her a new one. What a sentence, and what a story. This describes the humble yet outrageous beginnings of NZ Aerosports, the home of Icarus Canopies, in the words of our founder himself. From getting a paratrooper toy from his mom, watching parachutes at the DZ as a 6-year-old, jumping off the wharf with a parachute made from bed sheets, doing his first jump at 16, sewing his first canopy on a borrowed machine at 19, and starting to sell parachutes out of a garage in 1986, Paul Gyro Martin had an undying love for the sky. Our company started with one man with the wildest of spirits and a true blue sky dream, a renegade. In the time that Gyro created and ran the Icarus Canopies brand until he passed away in 2017, he pushed everything he had to its limits. We miss him, and we always will. Gyro is the next generation of NZ Aerosports. It honors our founder, of course, because it was the name we all knew him by, but Gyro the rebrand also marks the start of a new chapter, our next jump. Gyro is the space between sound and silence, art and science, chaos and calm. Gyro is a state of epic tranquility that transcends understanding. That moment, in the door, in free fall, mid-swoop, where nothing but the present exists. A perfect balance of euphoria and thrill. Gyro captures our passion for flying and our commitment to designing break-the-fucking-rules canopies that deliver pilots pure, wild flight.
Coming straight from the cockpit, it's another episode of Lunatic Fringe with the fucking pilot.
Ready, set, go. All right, fucking podcast number 3. Who the fuck are you guys?
Patrick K, a.k.a. Patches, a.k.a. AP.
AP Patches, Patrick K, all right. And who are you?
Just Shavon.
Just Shavon, all right.
No, a.k.a. Shav Nasty.
Nice. So you guys know each other?
A little bit.
All right. And you're both, you're skydivers?
Both skydivers, yes.
Awesome. And you're working in the sport and all that kind of stuff.
Yep.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
And all kinds of other extreme shit?
Well, we're getting a little bit older, so extreme stuff is hanging out in the bathroom with the fucking pilot.
Yeah, actually, it's kind of funny because this is the third recording I've done with anybody, and you guys are the first ones to acknowledge the fact that we are, in fact, sitting in a toilet.
And just so anyone's listening, he's sitting on a toilet.
Yes, I am on the throne. Well, it's only fitting that the princess be on the throne, right? All right, well, cool. So we're gonna get some background. I actually wanted to talk to you guys specifically to get a couple's perspective on all this crazy stuff. For anybody that listens that's not a skydiver and doesn't get into extreme sports, they think we're all crazy anyway, and probably think that life as a couple in this kind of thing would just not be possible. So we're gonna see if we can't dive into that a little bit. But how about some background first? So how did each of you get started in skydiving?
Well, when I was younger, teenager, I grew up snowboarding. So I used to spend my summers in government camp in Mount Hood, Oregon. And there was one summer there. I was with some friends. We were bored one day. We were sick of snowboarding, so we decided to go skydiving. So my first skydive was next to Mount Hood, static line.
Wow.
Which was absolutely incredible. The most beautiful scenery
It had to be.
Absolutely. So It took me a long time to really get into the sport after that, another 10 years at least, professionally, but it was always in my heart after that.
Sure. How about you?
Kind of a story like a lot of other skydivers, how they started. I was going through a tough time. I was in university. I was bartending, kind of going through a little bit of depression, and I had a friend, Jojo Silver, shout out. He said, you know what, I think you need to go skydiving and, reevaluate your life and, just look at things through a different perspective. And I was like, oh, yeah, okay. We'll see how this goes. So I went and did my first tandem, landed, and just instantly just felt that it's where I needed to be and it's what I needed to do, and I gave all my money to the drop zone. And
So you're one of the
course.
ones that made that first jump, and it was truly life-changing.
truly life-changing. I had tears when when we were coming down under canopy. It was just amazing for me.
It was amazing for me as well, although I wasn't crying. I thought I was going to throw up. So not quite as a romantic an ending to it. I thought I was going to puke while I was giving them money for the next jump, but it was just as incredible. Same thing for me. I landed and went, well, fuck.
Yeah.
All right, I guess this is what I do now. So how long have both of you been in the sport?
I did my first jump in '94, but I started in the sport, I believe, professionally 2003 or 2004.
Okay.
And I started in 2008, July 4th, 2008.
Nice, very cool. Well, and you guys have done quite a bit since then. I mean, you've traveled extensively and jumped all over the place, and Pat, you started competing.
Yes.
So what? I mean, you said professionally, so I'm assuming you worked as an instructor as well.
Well, yeah, of course, old school, man. I started on the packing mat, started doing the boogie tour.
Yeah, man.
Cruising around, doing the party thing, and worked my way through the ranks. Got my ratings straight away and started heavily into the work side of it.
Nice. Nice.
And then, of course, you find yourself doing 1,000 jumps a season and traveling around, having a good time.
It's funny how that happens, isn't it?
Yeah.
You tell people that don't jump that you've got 10 or 15,000 skydives, and they can't believe it. And I don't know if you're the same, but I think, well, fuck, why don't I have more?
Right.
Where was I slacking? Because I've got friends with 20,000 that started 3 years after me.
Exactly. You look back on the numbers, and it's like, yeah, I kind of took a break here and there. And some
Yeah.
people push forward. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. How about you, Shavon? Have you worked in a sport?
Not actual skydiving. No, I've worked on the sales side, gear store.
So you did the hard work.
Yeah, I never really wanted to work in the sport as an instructor or anything. I always thought I wanted to keep it as kind of a release, something as a hobby, never make it work.
Sure.
So,
Well, and I think a lot of us,
weekend warrior.
Pat, you'll probably agree, I did the same thing as you. I went straight to work, and part of me, not much, but part of me regrets it to some degree, only because most of my memories deal with working in the industry. And it never, for the longest time, it wasn't just for the pure pleasure of it.
Yeah, absolutely. It comes down and basically it becomes a lot of work, and then that's when you start burning out because you're working in it and then you're partying in it, and those are purely your memories, is the work and the parties, and that's it.
Sure.
And you forget about the importance of it is just having a good time, going out, creating good moments with people, and experiencing the other disciplines, because there's so many things to do and so many things to accomplish within the sport. You never stop learning. That's the beauty of it.
Absolutely. Well, and most people think that there's one type of skydiving. You jump out of a plane and you hopefully make it back down to the ground and you don't die. And that's skydiving for most people. They don't understand that there's so much more to it. There are so many different levels and different things that you can do, and different levels of risk and different levels of enjoyment too.
Right,
For sure.
absolutely, right. And most people don't realize how safe it can be, but yet we can make it look as dangerous as we want, but yet it's still safe.
Absolutely.
It's very calculated.
Absolutely. Well, and I've tried to explain to people in the past as well that I do not discourage the opinions that non-jumpers have of skydivers, because at the end of the day it makes us look badass. But the fact of the matter is, most skydivers I know are the most safety-conscious people I've ever met.
Yeah, what's amazing is like the biggest compliment I ever got. I had some motocross freestyle riders come up to me, and we were this is back in 7-8 years ago. These are professional freestyle motocross riders, and they come up to us and they say, "Man, you guys are crazy." And I'm looking at these guys. It's like, well, let me see your medical list. How many times you've been in the hospital? How many broken bones you have? It's
Right.
like, you guys are insane, but they have equal equal amount of respect for us. Which,
Oh yeah. Well, and I think it does kind of it seems to be similar across all of the so-called extreme sports. I have an amazing amount of respect for hardcore surfers and rock climbers and motocross and all them, simply because I know that not just the risk that's involved, but the passion that becomes involved as well, and that it's almost out of your control at some point, that you're like, fuck, this is just what I do. I don't have a choice anymore.
Right.
So you end up with that crossing respect for everybody, for sure. Although I think you're right in that we're a lot more calculated safety-wise, and quite frankly have a better safety record if you're staying on the normal side of skydiving. But you've pushed limits quite a bit.
Yeah, I try, but on the same side, especially nowadays, older, at the end of my career, so to speak, I'm even more calculated. Like, risk is a big thing for me.
Sure.
Obviously, older you get, the smaller risk you want to take. But, yeah, there's different levels of athletes out there that either want to push it and they want to go big, but...
Right. Well, I don't know about you, but as I get older, I realize that when something hurts, it's just going to hurt a lot longer now.
Yeah.
Getting out of bed's a little slower every morning, and I can thank skydiving for a lot of that. And that's skydiving where I didn't hurt myself. That's just normally yanking yourself under a parachute, and yeah, same. Well, now, so you worked in the air side of it, and you worked on the ground.
Yeah.
How many jumps collectively? How many roughly do you have, Pat?
A little over 18,000.
So 18,000 times. That's a shitload of jumps.
Yeah.
That's a shitload of jumps for a skydiver. That's an insane amount for somebody that's never jumped out of an airplane.
Yeah,
It really is.
Absolutely. But respectively nowadays, with the way things are, like, it's pretty common to find someone with 10 to 15,000 jumps.
Sure. Oh, absolutely.
But like when we started, it was someone with 1,000 jumps. Those guys,
Right.
they were gods, man. We looked up to them. They were the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
Nowadays, if you're pushing 10,000 jumps, then
You're starting to settle into it.
get a little bit more respect.
Yeah. I know it. It's kind of funny. Someone will come up and say they've got 1,000 jumps, and your almost instant response is, "All right, well, get back to me when you got a little experience."
Yeah.
Siobhan, how many jumps do you have?
I was just going to say we should have just combined ours together. So like I have more.
So we have 18,000.
800.
See, but that's still, I mean, if you think about it, 800 times you took off in an airplane you didn't land in. That's insane. That's insane.
Yeah, I think I landed in a few.
Yeah, actually, let's put a tack in that one. We're going to come back to that. We're going to definitely come back to that. I want to go back to Pat. You said you definitely got into the lifestyle, just like I did, and it becomes an all immersive lifestyle. Skydiving is not a Monday through Friday. It is I'm a fucking skydiver, and especially when you're working in it. And you mentioned your memories become the work and the parties.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's all it was, is from sun up, sun down, you're skydiving, and at night you party, and collectively on the weekends, that's all you do all weekend. It's a rough lifestyle. I mean, when you're working 18 hours a day and you're partying for another 4 hours a night, and you get up and do it again the next day, but at our age, younger age, we were able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
We still had the energy to make it through the week and make it through the weekend, and
And it seemed like a
then
perfectly
some.
normal thing.
And it seemed like a normal thing to do.
Absolutely. Well, and obviously, I think that the experience is probably parallel, but if you're doing what we've done for a living for so long, the parties are not your normal everyday parties. I think skydivers and extreme sports people in general, but skydivers specifically, at least with our experience, just go big everywhere. It's not...
Yeah, with anything they do. They don't do anything lightly, which is amazing.
No, it's absolutely incredible. Well, and although I'll ask you, because I've tried to figure it out, for the most part, skydivers get along very, very well as a collective. There's skydivers that I don't particularly like, but I still respect them.
Yeah.
And I think that seems to be sport-wide as well. But I don't think I ever recall a larger group of alpha personalities getting along so well. And every skydiver I know has to be an alpha to some degree, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. There's big egos, big time narcissism, but I think there's definitely a group of alphas out there. That's the major collective that, for the most part, they don't have the egos of the narcissism. They just want to be out. They want to be involved. They want to be seen, which is everyone in the sport.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I completely agree with that. It's the ego seems to take a bit of a backseat. I mean, it's still there. Obviously, everybody wants to think they're doing a kick-ass job, and God forbid they're the one that fucked up the skydive. But everybody also seems to be able to defer, and it seems to be you get a group together, and there's never any collective decision about who's running the show. It just seems to happen.
Right. There's always a guy who steps in.
That top alpha and there's never any question. I don't recall ever seeing or being involved in jumping where there was a fight over who was in charge.
Right.
That guy was just fucking running shit.
But we all went through that phase. Like, I even went through that phase. I think you remember this is like the guy at the 1,000 jump wonders. Like, that was the guy. Like, if you had 1,000 jumps, that mean
him.
Yeah,
he's doing it.
You got your stamps on the shoulder, like you were good to go. That was the guy that knew everything.
Yep.
So you played that role.
Did you ever play that role?
Oh, of course I did. Yeah, I went through that phase, and I realized, I was just being a dickhead. Like,
for sure.
I need to tone it back a little bit, and there are people out there that really know a lot more than me, and shut up and start listening more.
I have a tough time picturing you as a sky god, though. And for those that don't know what that is, a sky god is the ultimate fucking asshole that just can't ever get anything wrong, even when he's wrong.
I think I went through my short phase.
You think?
I had a very, very short phase. I was still trying to be humble, but there's times I did step in probably where I shouldn't have. And, I think about it later in life. It's like, yeah, maybe that wasn't the right thing to do. But we all have that in life in general, so.
Yeah, fair enough.
But I think the thing about skydiving is it gives you a bit of confidence, I think that's the attraction of why people fell in love with it.
Sure.
And follow the sport, with the community and the confidence that it builds you and it gives you. And so when you have these opportunities to lead somebody in a skydive, or you feel like you have all this knowledge and you want to share it, in real life situations, where is that going to happen? That's not going to happen in the office or wherever, normal people are hanging out. So it's kind of nice to be able to have that confidence and to share it with people.
Sure.
Even if it does sometimes get a little big-headed and give you a little bit of an ego.
Right.
But, we all go through those stages.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Well, especially in the sport, especially nowadays, there's so many people that have gotten into it and so many people that are coming up in the sport that are looking for someone to give them exactly that. And there's always someone willing to, come here, I'll help you out. Which is actually one of the cool things in the sport, because I remember there was a time in my career where I would see the hardcore 4-way and 8-way teams training that wanted nothing to do with anyone. And these were people that revered them, and they're getting blown off. And that seemed to be a relatively short phase, because a lot of those people that wouldn't give back to the community didn't seem to do so well. If you weren't willing to teach and you weren't willing to give back and you didn't enjoy it, you seemed to get ostracized pretty quick. And everybody goes through their phase for sure, but it usually is a pretty quick phase, because the whole sky god thing doesn't seem to last too long with people.
Yeah, and skydiving is not really a solo sport.
No.
So you need community,
it gets awful boring. Well, and I don't know about you, but I discovered long after the jumping wasn't boring, but it was mostly predictable. Long after I knew what was coming in a skydive, what kept me so engaged in the sport was the community of it. Mm-hmm. It was much more the people. And I think that's the whole band of brothers mentality. Maybe.
Yeah.
You do a bunch of really stupid shit, dangerous shit, day after day with the same group of people, and those people mean a lot to you just because they're doing the same stupid shit you are. And it does mean a lot. At least I think so.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it, is like, hopefully you have friends out there that if you're doing stupid shit, they're going to come up and smack you in the face a couple times and say, hey, you're doing stupid shit.
Absolutely.
That's your job. That's the beauty about a community.
Absolutely.
But I think, where I started kind of losing that Scott God mentality is I started looking at the older school generation, the people I looked up to, the legends that were so free with their information. You didn't have to pay them. You just went up and had a friendly conversation with them. They were free with all their information.
Sure.
Of course, they wouldn't give you all the details, but they would help you out no matter what.
Absolutely.
This is why they are legends.
Absolutely.
It doesn't matter if they're the greatest skydivers in the world or...
Did you have a big-time specific mentor, or was it a bunch of people?
I was, fortunately in Utah, we actually had a big group of people come out of that place that were all legendary. You got Ori King, you got Axel Zoman, Axel and Yoko from Axis 21. Kai Kai came from there, Palmer came from there.
Yeah.
Just got Plammer, a.k.a. Plammer, and, Timmy McMaster is like, there's so many legends that came out of there, which was nice. We all grew up at the same time. And
Sure.
everybody was able to make their way in the world, and they did a great job. But, there was just a lot of motivation and a lot of legendary natural skill and good attitude. So,
Sure.
yeah, I'm very stoked about that.
Now, Shavon, what was your home drop zone?
I started in Ogden, in Utah as well, but only a few months, and then we moved to Arizona. So I consider Arizona my home drop zone.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of Arizona.
That's a hell of a drop zone.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
I did my AFF instructor course there. It's really the only time I did any amount of jumping there, and I was so fucking freaked out the entire time I didn't really get to enjoy it.
Why is that?
Billy Rhodes did my course, and Billy Rhodes was... Fuck me. For those that don't know, the AFF instructor course still is probably the most difficult rating in skydiving to get, but at the time, Billy Rhodes was one of the few examiners that was allowed to give instructors ratings, and he had a very old school mentality. He didn't like giving the ratings out. He actually liked failing people. And when I met him, I walked up to him and I'm, hey, Mr. Rhodes, it's really nice to meet you. And he's this big bear of a guy with this really slow southern drawl, and he's all, how you doing? And very nice to, yeah, I'm doing good. It's nice to meet you. I'm really excited about the course. So, I don't recall seeing you in my pre-course. And I'm like, well, no, I wasn't able to make it. I was stuck for work. It's been kind of crazy. He's all, I've never actually passed anybody that didn't do my pre-course. And then he just nodded to me and walked away. Fuck me. Welcome to your AFF course.
Good luck.
Yeah, well, and that rating, my entire job in Cross Keys hinged on my getting that rating. So it was a pass or fail, go to your job or you're fucked. So, wow, talk about some pressure.
Yeah, he's pretty much thinking, thanks for your money.
Yeah, exactly. He's all, well, yeah, I'm getting paid no matter what. So, but yeah, Eloy, I mean, that's famous for some of the most intense hardcore jumping in the world.
And parties.
Yeah, and parties, and parties.
So I'm better on the party side than the skydiving side back then.
Nice,
so.
nice. Well, so what's your experience with the party stuff? I mean, it used to get pretty out of control out there.
Yeah, it did. I was one of those that, I do a few skydives here and there on the weekend. I was a teacher. I didn't make a lot of money, so it was tough for me to jump. So do a few skydives, and then I would be the one out, closing the bar and out all night. And,
Awesome.
But it was really cool. I think I really enjoyed growing up in skydiving there because sitting around with so many people, even though I wasn't getting coaching from the professionals or out there jumping as much and getting the numbers up, just listening to the stories and the experience, I think I really gained so much just by listening. And it was just, it was a cool time when I was out there, and so many legends, great time, and it was a good place to be. It was good to listen to everybody and for them to talk about, what they valued in skydiving, what they see as important, what they view as what big safety things that people need to focus on. And, we'd sit around beers over the campfire listening to this kind of stuff, and you didn't need to read any kind of article or go to a safety meeting or whatever. It came very naturally,
Sure.
And I really enjoyed that.
Well, it seems to me, and it's something that hasn't changed in skydiving at all, is we seem to be, if you spend any time in the sport, very easy and open with talking about the stuff that people don't generally want to talk about. When there's something bad happens, when it's an accident or God forbid, a fatality, something along those lines, we're the first ones to talk about it, because at the end of the day, the difference between them and us is knowledge and knowing. And beside the fact that we end up with a bit of a warped sense of humor, which you kind of have to have after a bunch of years in the sport, you end up being able to pass on, in slightly fucked up ways, all the ways to keep yourself safe. And part of the way to do that is to tell the stories of the people that did it wrong. So those bonfire conversations that sometimes turn awfully dark are probably the most valuable conversations I've ever listened into. And I've had the opportunity to be the one that's involved in that conversation now. Unfortunately, we all have. But they're tough lessons to learn, but they're good lessons to learn. I think that's probably one of the reasons that skydivers live life so fully, because if you've been in the sport for any length of time, you've lost somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. You realize how fragile it is, and we lose brother and sisters all the time. And the greatest thing about our community is so large. But being so large is we are going to be affected by people more so.
Oh, absolutely.
Obviously, people lose brothers, sisters, uncles, family, and with the small community, the effect obviously goes out, but with our community, it goes out worldwide.
Oh, yeah.
Instantly.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty harsh.
But then there's that impact of an even bigger support group as well.
Then it's
When
even
that
bigger
happens,
support
you
group
have
on the
all
same
that
side. Yeah, absolutely.
For sure.
backing you up. And,
Yeah.
Absolutely. And it's a horrible thing when you see a Facebook post from a friend that's nothing but a black screen, because you know what it means.
Yeah.
And eventually the story will come out. But all of us are also, we've been in it long enough to know, all right, step back, give them space, and eventually they're going to come to us and we're going to find out what's going on. And generally, I find that when something bad has happened worldwide and you find out via the internet, all anybody wants to know is, who was this person? I don't care what happened. I want to know, is it one of mine or is there somebody I need to call to comfort?
Yeah.
Correct.
Which is
Exactly.
really fucking cool. It really is.
Yeah, absolutely. And another thing too is, are they getting the details out there correctly out in the media? Like, and that's
We all know
the
how that
biggest,
goes.
The biggest problem with us. Yeah. Is once the media, and that's with anything the media gets a hold of, they blow it up and
I
make
hate
it out
to-
to big to
I hate to use this statement in today's society, but fake fucking news, man.
Yeah,
Oh,
fake fucking news, especially
man.
now. Everybody's looking for clicks, man. So they'll, and that's one thing I hate about the community that I've noticed a lot is some people will leech on to our, I would say, emotions, especially when we're going through those hard times. When something happens, a lot of people leech onto that, and
Sure.
they try to get attention from that. I think that's my biggest pet peeve with
Yeah, make it
things
about
happening
them.
now. They
Yeah.
make it about them instead of the family and the people.
Oh, I
that
completely
actually
agree.
happen, so.
I actually wrote an article about the phrase "Blue Skies, Black Death," and somebody had posted something on the Blue Skies website about how they hated the phrase and they'd never used it. They thought it was bullshit. And the article that I wrote quoted the original meaning behind it and what Blue Skies, Black Death meant. And what it means, Blue Skies means it's a tribute to that person that we lost, and Black Death is a warning to those of us that are still here to be careful. And they said that it was a bullshit phrase because people just use it all willy-nilly. And in that I did not disagree, because there's a lot of people that will just post a BSBD on their Facebook page for someone they didn't even know. And that's fucking bullshit, because that's, hey, somebody asked me, I want attention because somebody I don't know that you know died. Well, that's some bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm a firm believer in the phrase "Blue Skies, Black Death." Obviously, I've got BSBD tattooed on my arm, but for very personal and very specific reasons. So yeah, in that I completely agree. When people do that shit, it just pisses me off.
Yeah, for sure. So if anyone's listening right now, and if you've done it or you have done it, stop doing it.
Fucking doing that shit. Yeah, absolutely.
Have respect.
Yeah, what you can do is think about that person. If you know them, then give them a little private message and buzz them and just see how they're doing. If they
Absolutely.
were close to the person that passed away.
Well, at the end of the day, if you don't have the contact information of the person you should be consoling, you probably shouldn't be consoling them.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely.
That's pretty much it. Chances are they don't care about a random Facebook message from somebody they don't know.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I mean,
not gonna make it-
chalk it up to a sad day in skydiving, and and leave it at that, and let the people that need to mourn.
Absolutely.
Exactly. Get the details, find out what happened, and we learn from the mistakes,
Yep.
or if not, what
Learn from it
happened.
and keep it from happening to you or any of yours.
Exactly.
Now, that being said, obviously loss is a big part of the sport, so a lot of people are going to ask, why keep doing it? Why do you jump out of an airplane when you've lost really close people and continue to? And it's not even a doubt. The three of us are sitting right here, and there's no doubt in my mind that in the future we will absolutely lose more people that are close to us jumping out of airplanes. So why do we keep doing it?
Well, why live? You lose family members, throughout your life.
Sure.
Why not? Why keep living then if your family members are going to keep dying?
Yeah, you can
Why
do
keep sending
anything
people
and
to
you're
war?
gonna lose
The
people.
people are going to keep dying. Like, why do anything? It's like we live very fast-paced, strong, healthy, community-strong life.
Sure.
And I think that keeps us motivated. And not only that, it's a sport that you can never stop learning.
No. Well, it's
Ever.
the fact of the matter is, bottom line is, it's really fucking fun.
Yeah.
It's really fun. And if you start denying yourself, and believe me, I agree with you, if you start denying yourself the things that you find fun in your life, then you're already dead.
Yeah,
It's already over. We know a lot of dead people that are still walking around breathing. I'd say a fair amount of the people out there are just dead men walking, and they don't know it because they're too wrapped up in what they're going to binge watch on fucking Netflix in between 10-hour workdays, right? Don't get me wrong, I binge watch
We've got
Netflix
that
too.
Yeah.
But we get the best of both worlds because I get to do all that shit with a glass of red wine after I made 10 jumps or I went flying for fucking 6 or 7 hours in
For
a
sure.
day.
That's how we detox, yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. That's our dipping toes into normal life, so to speak.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Feel like a normal human being.
Right. So you both came up and both found the party life to some degree. And where did you guys end up meeting?
What's funny, she was mentioning when she came out for her first tandem, I was actually out smoking a cigarette, out on the bench, out front, and my buddy JoJo, what's up, JoJo? He walks up with this chick. I was like, oh, well, pretty hot. Kind of give her a go over, checking her out. And he walks up and goes, hey, you want to jump with my friend? I look at her and go, no, she's not hot enough. Continue on my phone, smoking a cigarette. Totally blew her off. Just so you know, I absolutely thought she was smoking hot. But he claimed her for himself, so I was trying to be the good guy, the good friend, and be like, and keep her out of my visual. Cause,
we do that, don't we?
Yeah.
We do that. Oh, I got the new one.
Yeah. She
But
was
which is funny because when he said that to me, I was just kind of in my head. I was like, oh, I like this guy.
What? All right.
That's my type right there.
Completely off skydiving. Why the fuck does that stuff work? Why is it if you're just a douchebag and you blow someone off and you learn to say no to a woman, why does that work?
I was a lot younger. I was probably at the peak of my fitness. I was bartending.
So you knew you were hot.
I was
She
getting
looked
hit
hot.
on all the time,
super hot.
I was getting hit on all the time, and it's just like, oh, okay, come on, at least come up with something good. And then, it's good to have somebody that's not a guy that's not going to try to, just say whatever he can to get into your pants.
Sure,
And,
sure.
So play hard to get. It's,
I did that on the first date. After that,
Nice.
then I said whatever.
Well, yeah, then you give up on it.
Then I was begging.
I actually said to my girlfriend just the other day, I'm like, you really like it when I say no to you, don't you? And she didn't answer, and then she went, yeah, I kind of like that. I'm like, all right, cool.
Girls like the chase as well,
Yeah.
It's good to see because, depending on, I guess it depends on your age and when you're, going through the dating scene and whatnot, but when I was, in university age in my mid-20s, you go and, some guy hits on you and then you watch him go hit on 4 other girls and you're like, come on. Chump,
Right. He's just playing the numbers.
What's the point? I'm not going to give him the time of day, but
Sure.
if you have to put in the effort,
Sure.
and Pat was kind of the quiet, well, not really the quiet guy, his patches. But he was not the one going out hitting on girls really loud, and I think that's what I was attracted to. Is he was kind of the quiet one, the corner. I'd always go bum a smoke from him and be like, "Hey, what's up?"
So the blowing her off worked.
The blowing her off at work. The hardest part about it is I had to fight off the 10 other dudes that were surrounding her at all point.
Right.
Thinking I'm her protective. I'm
Sure.
going to eventually be her boyfriend one day. She will see I
Sure.
am the guy.
Sure.
That was the hardest part of our relationship.
Well, I talked to Junior last time around, and one of the things that came up was the old joke. It's not you didn't lose your girl, you just lost your turn. So that's the mentality that a lot of us had on the drop zones back in the day. Was I cannot fucking look away from this girl because if I do, she's gone. I lost my turn. So I completely understand. Well, so how'd you get away from the other 10? Maybe I should ask her. How did you get you away from the other 10?
I always had guy friends, and I had a whole group of a gaggle of guy friends.
So you had a bunch of guys that wanted to sleep with you that you called friends.
I need to honestly
Friend
say
zone.
she was very, very naive about it. She is a very trusting, loving person.
Yeah, they're my friends.
They
They're
are-
still
they-
my friends.
They all wanted to fuck you.
They are great guys. But honestly, every one of them, and I'm still friends. I hope so. But they're all great guys, and we just had to get past this. Is like, hey, I mean well for her.
Sure.
I know you want to date her. I knew that as a man. It's like
Sure.
I could see it. It was obvious. She didn't see it. But eventually, once she kind of saw it, she went, oh.
Sure.
Oh.
But they all gave you
and
the
the
blessing. And they
dynamic
were
changed.
like
Once
brothers.
I got the blessing,
it
it
was
was
like a
good.
group of brothers, They all kind of looked
Yeah.
out for me as well. And
Well,
As it should.
yes and no.
yes
Yes
and no.
Because
That's
that
kinda
does.
creepy if you think about
When
it.
you're dating somebody that's on the drop zone, you do kind of eventually get that respect of, all right, yeah, she's with you. As long as you know I still want to fuck her,
Yeah.
but I'm not going to try anymore. And that's kind of what it becomes is, all right, yeah, I got my gun, but I'm not going to shoot anybody.
Well, and I think
Just
it was
yet.
Yeah.
because it was like my crew up in Logan, and you know, when I started skydiving, I kind of was like breaking away from the crew, and I was going down and hanging out with these new people and partying and skydiving, and they're like, "What's so cool about this lifestyle?" And it you know, and I'm happy that I'm still really good friends with a lot of them, but I could see, and I have seen a lot of people, once you start skydiving, you kind of lose those
Most of
WFO
them.
friends. Yeah.
Most of them.
Yeah, you do, because life changes, and luckily enough, I'm still good friends with a lot of them, and they're not essentially skydivers, but they've come and hang out in the drop zone
Sure.
and enjoyed it, and kind of see what I see about it. But I think that was a thing too. When I started skydiving, a lot of my friends were kind of jealous and were wondering what was this new thing that was
Well, it's a very
taking all my
romantic
attention.
It's a very romantic, powerful lifestyle. I
Yeah.
mean, at the end of the day, if you can step back and look at it for what it is, we got a really cool looking lifestyle. I mean, it's one of the things that scared me the most about the first time that I took my kid to a drop zone was that she was going to think it was as cool as I did. I'm like, no, fuck, she's going to think it's just
How
as
old is she
cool,
now?
and she's almost 22 now.
Ooh, yeah, bad place.
Yeah, right, right.
Danger.
Luckily, she's nothing like Dad, so it's perfect. It's perfect.
She learned from Papa.
What I remember about, you know, my first skydive as well is I was hanging out with the crew, going to some of the parties, and that's what really, it was the community side that really got me, because I've always been very community oriented.
Sure.
And, you know, I partied a lot. I've bartended for a long time. There was a big, strong crew of us that, you know, we were really close. We partied. We'd run the shop at the bar. And there was just something different about the skydiving community. And I didn't know what it was, but I remember going to my first few parties and just feeling like I'd found a group of people that finally got it. And maybe it was because of dealing with death in their lives and the dark side
Sure.
that people don't admit, but it's there. And I don't know what it was, but that's what really, I remember feeling, wow, I found people that like to party as hard as I do, play as hard as I do, and really understand some of these feelings that I feel sometimes that
Sure.
I can't talk with my other friends. And so it was really cool. That's what got my hand.
Sure. Well, at the end of the day, I think that they're more genuine because it comes from a place of hard-learned lessons.
Yeah.
So you've got, I mean, there's people that party all over the world, absolutely, and I'm sure they have an absolute blast, but most of them are putting on airs.
Yeah.
They're painting that face and they're going out and pretending to be this person, and skydivers don't do that. We just don't have the energy left to pretend. And at the end of the day, when you deal with fear and death and overcoming other people's fear on a daily basis, you just don't have time for bullshit on the
Well,
ground.
the mask comes off.
Well, it cuts out all the PC bullshit, goes away, and you see people for who they really are.
Yeah.
And I discovered a long time ago that I loved the sport because you think I'm an asshole and you like me, or you think I'm an asshole but you don't like me, fine. As you see me for who I am. I'm happy being an asshole. I'm that guy. And I'm fine with that. So what that tells me is the people that choose to be around me accept me for exactly who I am. And I don't think most people get to have that experience.
Yeah.
It's an amazing experience.
Acceptance, yeah. I think that's the key word in this whole thing, community and acceptance.
Absolutely.
You are who you are. Maybe we like it, maybe we don't, but
Yeah.
we'll accept you.
Yeah.
I'd rather be disliked for who I am than liked for who I'm not.
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, it's what it comes down to. So you guys get together, you're a couple, and where does it go from there? I mean, you're in Arizona, and then you start. Do you stay in Arizona? You start traveling. You start bouncing around.
I swept her off her feet.
Yeah, we hit it
3
off.
months. We hit big, fast, hard, just like you do in Sky.
Sure.
Everything. Fast. 3 months later, she graduated college. I moved down to Arizona, found us a house. When she graduated, I came back up to Utah, where we lived. I grabbed her up, drove her down to Arizona.
Awesome.
Of course, her
started life
friends
down there.
and family are all freaking out.
Yeah, my family
Losing
was like,
their
what
shit.
are you doing? You barely know this guy.
You've known this guy for 3 months.
Right.
Where are you
I was
going?
like,
And
yeah, it's totally
he's
cool.
dragging you to the middle of the fucking desert in Arizona.
Yeah.
To a trailer in a bar on a grass strip.
And I actually never felt more natural than anything I've
This
ever
is
done.
how I got away from all the dudes. I never told anyone the plan, but it's like, this was the real
going
plan.
to
Right.
I'm just going to move you an entire state over.
Nice, nice. So how long were you guys in Arizona for?
3 years, just over 3 years.
Yeah.
And
I was there for a
then,
little bit longer, but then,
yeah.
and I came out here first, just to check it out, to an unknown location.
So traveling abroad and overseas.
Traveling abroad. So we moved away after that, and I moved away first, checked out location, and then brought her over. And
Yeah, we've been out of the States for 7 years.
7 years now.
It was going to be a year.
Almost 8 years.
It goes awful fast, doesn't
I was
it?
like, let's try a year.
Yeah.
And going on 7.
Yeah. I haven't lived mainland U.S. in almost 9 years.
It's crazy thinking about going back, huh?
Oh, it is. Yeah, no, it's
So
and barring all the craziness that's going on there, it's such a big world. And again, the community that we have is so worldwide that you guys are exactly like me. I've got a couch in every country in the world to go sleep on.
Yeah.
There's not a single country I can't go to, including fucking Nepal, for Christ's sakes, where I can find a couch to flop on because somebody jumped out of an airplane and I'm friends on Facebook with them.
Right.
Which is awesome.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's really, really cool, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing.
Yeah, all those Facebook haters.
Oh, no, man. I'll tell you
on.
what. Say
Give it up. Stop your political shit and keep it for what it is.
Yeah.
Friendly and fun.
Say
Be
what you
friends.
will about Facebook, but the fact of the matter is, especially for those of us that are traveling quite a lot or living abroad, it has been the only link I've had to so many friends and reconnection to so many friends. Fucking Mark Zuckerberg, sell my data. I don't give a fuck. Who really wants to know what I do anyway,
feel
for
the
Christ's
same way.
sakes? Come on. When they come out with your camera on your computers watching you, who the fuck wants to watch a middle-aged man masturbate anyway?
Exactly. Watch me jerk off.
Yeah, it's fine. Here you go. Here's an average-sized dick jerking off to average porn. It's fine. I don't care. If it allows me to keep in touch with all these amazing people, then who fucking cares?
Yeah, it's good. It's good to see what people
Nothing's for
are
free
doing
in
their
life, right?
No, if that's a small price to pay. That's a real small price to pay.
Literally.
Yeah, absolutely. So how about jumping together? I mean, you're a couple, so you both took to skydiving. Do you guys do much jumping together?
No.
No, we don't. I was very clear in the beginning. Like,
Stay the fuck out
and
of
most of you gonna understand this. Is like I was very clear in the beginning. Is normally when a skydiver hooks up with a chick and she's younger jump numbers, it becomes coaching and expectations. I was very clear with her in the beginning. That's not what this is going to be.
Right.
You're going to do it just like I did. You're going to go out, find your friends. You're going to do it on your own. You're going to learn the hard way, listen to the stories.
Earn it.
Pay for the coaching, and do it the hard way.
But that's how I wanted to do it anyway. I mean, I've done a lot of sports in my life, and that's my way of doing things, is doing it on my own, independent, and
It's the
you
best
get
way
more
to do it.
enjoyment from it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you really
Absolutely.
learn
Well,
the
and
ropes.
from an outsider's perspective that is seeing those girlfriends that latch on to the ones that know their shit, you never have that level of respect for a guy or girl, because I've seen the opposite as well. A low-time male jumper hooking up with an amazing female flyer to learn everything he can, and then he's, Asta, I'm a badass flyer now, and now he's got pro hose everywhere.
Yeah.
So same damn thing. It goes either way, and you just never have that level of respect for somebody that went out and just grinded it out.
Yeah. Or didn't grind out and just, I'm a fair weather jumper. I have 800 skydives in 10 years, and I think, I've had so many people come to me and be like, oh, when are you going to start swooping, because Pat's a swooper. And, I think, I'm not Pat. I have so many other loves in my life and fitness and so many other things I do. And I enjoy that. And, skydiving is not my first and foremost, and it shouldn't be. And so I think by association, a lot of people think I'm supposed to be this badass skydiver. And I kind of like that I'm not, because I'm like, I'm a badass in another way. It's more of his sport than mine. I enjoy it. But
It's amazing the looks on people's faces when I tell them. It's like, I will not coach her. I absolutely refuse. And they're just in shock and awe that I would do that to my woman, my wife, my lady of 10 years. It's just like, you just don't understand. That's how it goes. But I think we have a better respect for each other, because everybody who's been through this knows teaching your spouse or significant other is insane. You don't do it.
Fucking
you
hard
don't fucking
work.
do it.
it is.
No.
And I wouldn't expect for him to want to go do a sky. I mean, we do some fun jumps here and there. And when we do, they're really fun. They're very just random when we travel, and some of the jumps. It's really good to be in the sky with him. Like, I love it. But as far as day-to-day jumping and going out and doing stuff together, I wouldn't expect him to want to go skydive with me at my level when he's a world record holder, a badass. But the same thing, I would never ask him to go running with me.
Sure.
Because he would have a horrible time, and I'd have a horrible time waiting.
You'd have a fucking heart attack. What are you
She'd be
talking
calling-
about?
She'd be calling the ambulance before we get to the first
I'd be like,
kilometer.
come on, let's go. Like, you're waiting for him, you know?
Sure,
so it's,
sure.
It's how it
Actually,
goes.
she would call the ambulance for me and then continue running.
You just dial nine. Well, if you're in the States, dial 911 and then run with your thumb over the send
Right,
button.
exactly.
Yeah.
Which I would do the same. It'd be like, see ya, you know. I
Yeah,
hope you're
fair
okay
enough.
with it.
Well, so you're both skydivers as well, and especially him being a little bit more on the hardcore side of it. How do you guys deal with the risk of it all? I mean, at the end of the day, we're pretty eyes wide open about the fact that this shit's dangerous. So have you guys like sat down and never talked about, all right, this is some risky shit that we do, this is how I feel about it? Or is it just that almost unspoken between skydivers thing where you just kind of give each other the look like, fucking watch your ass, because you need to be here tomorrow?
I think it's...
No,
it's-
we've had the discussion.
Yeah,
we
in a roundabout
know
way.
we know what's expected of each other if something were to happen. I.e., kind of wheel stuff. We don't have a wheel, but
Yeah, we know, but...
we know what to do, what to expect. But yes, when I first started traveling a lot, she wasn't very accepting of it.
Well, it's
She
the
hated it.
swooping, you know, it's a lot different than, you know, when you're free flying and doing
Yeah.
some other stuff. When you started swooping, it really worried me because it is, you know, it's the next level and it's,
Sure.
it's really dangerous. And there was
Especially when I crash a
conversation.
lot. When I sent her videos,
They'd
me
send me
crashing,
videos
like,
and I'm just like, oh, geez, that's not helping my
like
nerves
hardcore
right
crashing,
now.
not just like bouncing a little bit, like
And you know,
You seem like a pretty sharp guy until you told me you did that. What the fuck?
nonchalant, like, oh, it's okay. It's like, what happens? And I'm like, that's what happens. Okay, no. But I think, and we had the discussion, you know, once, you know, we got married, we've been together for a very long time, but I think once there's somebody else in your life and you kind of reevaluate, and I know for you kind of took a step back. You were pushing it hard and when you were swooping, and you admitted you're not in your younger days. And you always told me that, you know, when you're competing, you'd always take it pretty even keel. Like you weren't
I was
pushing
A little bit more
to
conservative.
be.
Yeah.
You're not 21 again.
When
You're not gonna.
Honestly, when I started really touring with the team in the unknown location, I was at an older age. Yeah, you know, it took me a lot to catch up to the top professionals in the sport, and we went hard and we went fast. We did it, but at some point, all of us go through the stage. It's like,
Sure.
you know, injuries.
Sure.
It's long
Yeah.
recovery time, and
Sure.
you start thinking about the end game. You start thinking about
Shit starts creeping in. That adulting shit starts
Yeah.
sneaks up on you for sure.
yeah. So we've
So-
always been honest with
Yeah.
with each other. As
Well,
far
And
as
at the
what
end of
happens.
the day, I always knew that, you know, I knew he would be conservative. I knew that he wasn't going to be pushing it and doing anything stupid.
Sure.
And if something did happen, you know, in the back of my head, I've always known that I think what a lot of us know in this sport is if it happens,
Sure.
it's, you know, it's what he loves.
I mean,
and
I hate to
it
use
is
the
what it
old
is.
phrase, they
Yeah,
died doing what they
yeah.
love, but at the end of the day, it's true.
It's
I mean,
true.
I'm guessing the last fucking 30 seconds I'm not in love with that situation, but you can't take, for me, 23 years
Yeah.
of a passion for something, and it's worth the end game, for sure.
And I would never say, oh, don't go and do something
Sure.
that you love because
Sure.
a risk. Because,
Well,
you know.
And I mean, I had my bridge too far was base jumping when I knew I was going to be a dad. For Junior, his bridge too far was backing down off of some of the hardcore base jumps because he's now a husband.
Yeah.
So I think the common denominator seems to be, at least for a few people anyway, when someone else is involved. And
Yeah.
there's no right or wrong in it. There's other people that don't. And unfortunately, we have close friends that we've lost along the way who were in situations like you. The late, great Micah Couch being one of them. But this was also something that I can't think anything other than was completely understood by both him and his wife. I
Yeah.
mean, they were both very passionate about the exact same thing. And they knew what they were doing and they knew what they were walking into. And you could see that in her, just in the strength after he had passed, in knowing that part of why she was doing as well as she was and as strong as she was because she knew exactly why he had this passion. I don't think that could survive. I don't think a couple that doesn't don't both have that same passion could survive it.
Yeah. I think, and that's the bond between couples that do a sport like this. It's that knowing and acceptance.
Absolutely. Well, and
Involved.
even if you're not jumping together, you understand. So the mentality is there.
Yeah.
But you guys do, I mean, you've done a fair amount of risky things together. You guys also did something really fun together. You were in a plane crash together, weren't you?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the one time we decided to go jump together.
This
Let's go
is-
jump
this is-
together.
This is one of those times where like, let's go skydive together.
Yeah, that's why you shouldn't fucking jump together.
Let's go skydive.
All right, so I don't know actually I know all the details, but I'm going to let you tell the details. So you guys were in a fucking plane crash together, and it was a pretty gnarly plane crash.
Yeah.
So what happened?
What happened? Well,
That was such an interesting day.
it's the entire day. Let
from the
me just first say
beginning, it was
is
just insane.
that morning I woke up at 3:30 in the morning. I couldn't go back to sleep. Seriously,
Sure.
Yeah, seriously,
like
yeah.
I woke up out of bed and I really felt something was wrong. True in my heart, like you get that feeling. Like,
Sure.
Deep down, I was like, something is wrong with my family. My grandma was getting older and she was having health problems, so I thought my grandma was dead. That's it. So I started writing my family, emailing them, something's wrong, what's going on, everything's great here. Okay, great.
You thought, oh, maybe I'm just jet lagged, but you were having an anxiety attack.
I was
It's-
having anxiety that entire morning, and then, okay, we're still going to go jump.
Let's go calm down by jumping out of
Yeah,
the
Let's just go do a skydive.
Let's go do a
Chill
skydive,
out.
like, have fun for the day. And then, we're driving to the drop zone, and of course, we're driving up, and we see the plane
We see the
come
plane.
in, we're just like, not that plane, that plane.
We both did say that at the
Honestly,
same
we're
time.
looking at
As
the
we're
plane
pulling
going,
up, we're like, oh, that
not
plane's there
that
today.
plane. Not that it was classically known for mechanical failure, but it was just
We're spoiled.
It just
We're
wasn't.
spoiled.
It just wasn't the plane you wanted.
certain aircraft. Yeah,
So you were used to multi-engine airplanes, and this was a single engine.
Yeah.
exactly.
So it was the slow boat to the top.
The slow boat.
All right.
Yeah, not a lot of leg room. It was economy class. Wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, fair enough.
We're used to business.
We're
class.
spoiled.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So yeah, we showed up late day. It was load 3 in the day. Load
Yeah,
3,
load 3.
correct? And yeah, it happened to be myself, my wife, and pretty much half the plane load of friends.
Of
And-
friends that a lot of
Close
them
friends.
don't
Close
jump
friends.
a lot. There's some other people in there that, it was like everybody kind of joked, oh, you guys are getting on the plane, me and one of my girlfriends, because we don't skydive a lot.
Right.
We're busy working, and they're like, oh, what are you guys doing jumping? And,
Yeah, it was a rarity. It's probably like maybe the second or third time we'd ever try to jump together. But yeah, anyways, so you want me to go into the full
Yeah,
details?
please,
okay.
please.
Detail. All right. So take off normal. Get up to 1,500 feet, which is pretty much standard for seatbelts off.
Sure.
Seatbelts off, helmets off. Open the door. Blah blah blah. Everybody move about the aircraft. Enjoy your leg space. At I believe 2,700 was the official call-in, somewhere around there. Of kind of the May Day, we had a catastrophic engine failure.
So big boom.
it was a sound that everybody on the plane, that there was a few people that were inexperienced on the plane, but everybody else, after that sound, everybody looked at each other and just went,
What the fuck? Yeah.
it was like, we knew.
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, it was a crunch and a grind, so you knew something bad was happening. And personally, I looked back to the pilot, and as soon as I saw the prop just dead center in front of the window of the pilot, I knew it was bad. It's an emergency I've seen and heard before. I knew it was pretty bad, but yeah, everybody starts going kind of through their emergency procedures. It was kind of chaos in the
Sure.
in the fuselage.
I think
Of
a lot of us
course.
thought we were going to be able to jump out.
A lot of us thought we were going to be able to jump out, but we're all looking at the pilot, and the pilot did was made his job, but unfortunately he was so busy trying to save our lives.
He couldn't give instructions.
He wasn't giving any instructions, so it was up to us to make our own decisions in the back, which fortunately we all made the right decision. The prop did not feather, and so it put the plane in a
you
weird.
did. You.
So for those that don't know, with propellers, with airplanes in general, so a propeller not being feathered, imagine you're driving down the freeway and you stick your hand out of the car and you're holding your palm flat against the wind and it wants to blow your arm all the way back. But if you turn your arm like a karate chop, it makes it go nice and smooth. Well, when an engine fails, that's what you want the propeller to do because it allows that plane to glide and then the wings do their job. In this particular case, that propeller stopped flat like that palm out in the wind, which is not good for a flying airplane. What that means is that the pilot's got to aim the nose almost straight to the ground just to keep up enough speed for the wings to create lift and it keep flying. Yeah. Which sounds unnatural. Shit, I've got to aim this plane at the ground to keep flying, but that's exactly what he had to do.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
There was some discussion about jumping, but it's amazing how quickly there was no time. I don't think I've ever been more altitude aware in any skydive than I was on that
Yeah, the
plane.
thing is, the malfunction happened at 2,700 feet. By the time we're looking at the pilot for any kind of communication, it was 1,700 feet. So just in that time of looking at each other in awe, we'd already dropped 1,000 feet.
Sure.
So by the time this happened, of course, he's got the nose pointed at the ground. And some people were really panicked and wanted to get towards the door and get out, which, I can see, self-reserve,
Sure.
get out.
Sure.
It's all about me, my life, blah, blah, blah. But, a lot of people need to think about that. It's like, save yourself, kill everyone else.
Sure.
I absolutely think we made the right decision. Everybody sat down. Everybody got their seatbelts on.
Seatbelts on.
And let the pilot do his job, because if everyone would have started jumping out of the back, it would have threw off the balance of the aircraft and probably killed everybody in the airplane.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Maybe a few would have survived.
Maybe
Somebody
a few
probably
would
would
have
have hit the
survived.
tail.
Oh, I don't think there's any doubt that had that load started bailing out, at least a few people would have died, if not everybody.
Yeah.
But I love reading the port where it says unsurvivable.
Right, and here you are.
Here we are.
Well, and
Right
the happy end of the story is that
All 15?
all 15 people walked away. Didn't limp, they walked away. A few bumps and bruises here, and the pilot sustained a bit of a gash on his head, but still had a smile on his face. I actually happened to be able to meet up with you guys in the hospital after that it all happened. And I told you then, and I'll tell you again now, because I know for a fact you were the one to tell everybody to sit the fuck down. That saved their lives, because I know that there were a few people that wanted to jump. Had they jumped, first person out that door would have hit the tail, without a doubt.
Yeah.
The pilot is fighting for dear life to keep that plane in control, and messing with the balance of that aircraft at that point would have made it borderline uncontrollable. So between someone hitting the tail and the center of gravity shifting all over the place, chances are everybody on that plane's dead. So there's two people that were on that plane that saved everybody's lives, and that was the pilot and you, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I said it that day in the hospital, and it's just as true today as it was then. And it's a testament to your training and keeping cool in a fucking freaky situation. And I'm sure you guys will agree, freaky stuff happens to us all the time. It's not a matter of getting freaked out. It's when you allow yourself to get freaked out. Correct. I have, on the ground, melted down into tears over scary situations that I've lived through. I just haven't allowed that to happen during those scary situations. And I think that's probably the difference between people that can handle the shit we do and people that can't. And
I think everybody fed off of that energy. It was, there was a bit of panic in the beginning, and some of the few people that wanted to jump, and then Pat kind of took control, seeing that the pilot couldn't communicate with us, and his calmness, and it was just everybody sit down.
Sure.
Close the door, like little things that put you, everybody make sure your helmets are done, and then, seconds before impact, everybody lean back.
Sure.
And everybody just followed because of the calmness to it, and it was easy for everybody. It was a scary situation.
Of
we
course.
have parachutes on our back, and we're sitting in a plane going
Right.
to the ground. There's a lot of frustration
Sure.
that a lot of us felt, being like, why are we in this plane right
Sure.
now? But because of the calmness and of control that Pat took, and made us feel, you know what, this is what we need to do, and we did it, and
Sure.
it ended up best case scenario.
Oh, absolutely. No, it was a fairy tale story ending. It was fantastic. Now, that being said, they all listened to the command and understood, all right, if Pat is saying this, if anybody is saying this is what we need to do, of course, in that situation, any rational person wants to latch on to, if he says it, then that's going to be good. And you tell the story, and it makes it sound like it was quite a long time, but how long was it from the time that everything went bang to the time you were on the ground?
That's funny, because we had this conversation.
It was a minute and I think a minute and 15 seconds.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
less than 90
Yeah.
seconds.
So we had this conversation the night of the plane. We had a big party that night. And decompressed.
Yeah, you
let's
should.
Everybody was
just say.
crying. Everybody,
Drinking and
everybody
crying.
was in tears, drunk in tears.
Of
Yeah,
course.
let's just say it was
Celebrating
a
life.
decompression party.
Sure, yeah.
And we all talked about it, obviously, and we each kind of had our opinion. It was about 4, 5 minutes, 6 minutes. Report came out a few days later.
Yeah.
It was less. It was a minute and a half.
Yeah.
Minute 40.
Nice 90 seconds.
Minute
90
40.
seconds.
Yeah.
Do you think that's contributed to the fact that because of our sport we have gained the ability to slow time down? And we absolutely have.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so. People that deal with extreme experiences all the time.
Oh, we're a master of time. Anybody that says
exactly.
time travel is not possible hasn't jumped out of a fucking airplane.
Yeah.
Because I could read a novel. I could read War and Peace on the way down on a skydive. It takes forever.
Whenever I tell somebody, they're like, "How long do you fall?" 60 seconds. Let's roundabout. What? You do all that for 60 seconds?
Yeah.
It's the longest 60 seconds you'll ever
Well,
experience.
and that's the thing is I've used that exact statement at 60 seconds, and then I've made someone sit and watch the second hand of a watch for 60 seconds, and then at the end of the 60 seconds, tell them you were falling that entire time, and have them go, "Oh shit!" But then you realize all these different things that you can do, and I mean, you guys had full-blown, complicated conversations, debate, discussion, argument, resolution, and
looks.
solution in 90 fucking seconds. That's incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, it really is almost beyond imagination. And luckily, knock fucking wood, I've never had to deal with quite that extreme a situation. I mean, I've had my fair amount of emergencies in airplanes and in skydives, but I've never had to deal with a plane that was gonna fucking crash.
Yeah.
And I hope I never do.
Catastrophic.
Yeah, absolutely. Someone said they're like, "Oh my God, he's the best pilot ever," and then turned to me and went, "No offense," and I'm like, "No offense, fucking taken. Are you absolutely? He wins. I don't ever want to be as good as he is.
No, he gets the gold star.
Yeah,
does
like-
get the
I
gold
don't
star.
care.
How the fuck can I possibly be offended? He kept 15 people alive in a crash. I get applause when I land on a normal skydive because it's
Right.
too windy. You know, yeah, you win, dude.
Unsurvivable crash.
Unsurvivable crash. So
Absolutely nothing.
how was the sex that night?
Amazing. But this
Did
also
you pound any
redefines.
dents in the
This
wall?
also redefines what 1 minute is. So when my wife was like, "Oh, 1 minute," it's like, hey, that's forever.
Brilliant.
Oh, and here I was going to say
Brilliant.
something.
Oh,
So
like,
you know, when you
dude.
get 2 minutes in, you're just like,
Cheers to that.
you are gone.
That's fucking. That's brilliant. Yes. You don't think a minute's very long? Well, guess what?
does now.
That's fucking awesome.
I will say I mean, it's the only plane crash I've been on, and hopefully, but to look over at Pat and look at each other in the eyes and kind of say goodbye.
Hold hands and say goodbye. Say, I love you and
That's
goodbye.
that's a crazy thing to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, in my head, when we took the first bounce, when the plane touched first, and you're waiting for the second to be catastrophic, and who knows what's going to happen. I was thinking it's going to be one of us.
Sure.
And which one is it going to be?
Sure.
To look over and to see both of us still alert and everybody else alert, and it's amazing. I'm not saying I'm happy I went through that experience, but to go through something so deep with somebody that you love so much, it really
It's a full-blown
is very
rebirth.
powerful.
It's a rebirth,
It's a rebirth,
absolutely.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, I
you're
don't care how many drugs you've taken in your life, you'll never get that high.
no,
Ever.
of course not, of course
When
not.
you just
if you
stand
survive
out, yeah.
death, if you think you're going to die, truly think you're going to die in a moment, and you have minutes to think, like you
really
said,
think you're
minutes
gonna
is
die, yeah.
hours kind of thing.
Oh yeah, no, time
It's
stretches
like,
out.
I am going to die, and it comes out like,
Nope.
Yeah. Well, and it's kind of one of the reasons that I've explained to people that are non-jumpers why I think skydiving is such an amazing and sometimes transformative experience. Because some people view the idea of jumping out of an airplane the same way that you guys viewed that plane crash. They're as terrified to make a fun skydive as you guys were to be in that plane crash. And I try and explain to someone, you have no idea who you're going to be when you not only conquer something that terrifies you, but come out the other side better and happier for it. You can't imagine. You just cannot fathom. And granted, it's not nearly to the extreme that you guys had to deal with on the plane crash, but it's the same basic premise. And to some people out there, it's probably, strapping on a tandem harness is more terrifying.
Exactly.
makes
And
you
I tell
respect it.
everybody that comes, oh, you work in skydiving and
Yeah.
this and that, and I've always thought about it, and I say everybody should do it at least
Do it,
once.
yeah.
Just do it at least once.
If you're physically able, make the jump.
If you don't fall in love with it, if you don't become a skydiver, that doesn't matter. Do one and see how it is. And
I say the same thing. I tell people that I've had lots of most people, and on average, most people never make another jump.
yeah.
But most people say that they'll never do another jump, but that they're ecstatic they did the first one. I've never, out of over 8,000 tandems, ever had anyone say, "I wish I hadn't done that." Not even the ones that threw up on me and pissed all over me and completely
Passed out.
Yeah, and passed out and went mental. Not one of them went, "Fuck, I wish I hadn't done that." Every single one of them was happy that they did it. They just didn't want to do it again. Yeah. So absolutely. Well, so you've done all this stuff up to and including the crescendo of fucking surviving a plane crash. Shavon, you got to say, "All right, I'm good for a while. I'm gonna stay on the ground."
Yeah, I did.
Pat, you do this for a living. What was load one?
No, it's actually pretty funny after that because after this event, myself and one other that was involved in that crash, can I say his name? Mr. Pablo Hernandez.
Yeah.
He was also on that with me. And of course, we're involved traveling, swooping, and a lot of places you go in the world, they have they have certain airplanes,
Sure.
single engine airplanes. But pretty funny story. Pablo and I ended up going to the Czech Republic and to competition at Skydive Pink. And Wootsy Wagner just happened to have this certain aircraft with this engine from a different manufacturer.
Sure.
And of course, he says, "This is the engine. There is no way this is ever going to happen." And we said, "No way you can ever get us on that airplane." Right? So we're jumping, we're training. So what he does is he stops the current aircraft that we're jumping on. He says, "That's the only plane we're going to start jumping now. It's the plane we did not want to get on." He's like, "This is your only choice."
Wow.
Good on Wootsy.
Yeah.
Good
Get
dude.
back on the bike.
He's like, "This is your horse. Get back on it. You're going to do it." And both Pablo and I got in that airplane. Literally, we are watching our altimeter for 2,700 feet. And when we saw that, both him and I, it was the biggest relief for us. And it was like, okay, we're kind of over that. And we continued to jump in that aircraft that day, but still, that's the second time I've seen and witnessed that malfunction on that aircraft.
Sure.
And, fortunately, the first time I wasn't involved, but the reason why I had the experience with it is once it happened, we sat down with a lot of people and discussed a lot of different actions and why you should and should do things. But after the fact, Wootsy, thank you, love you. Thanks for getting us back on the horse. He got Pablo and I back on the horse, and we have to.
Well, at the end of the day, we're very lucky in that this is the one and only activity I've ever been involved in where I'm happy to learn from other people's mistakes. Most times I need to make my own mistakes, even if that's scrapes and scuffs and bloodied knees and stuff. But in this sport and in aviation in general, I am happy to learn from the shit that's gone wrong to somebody else. And obviously not to the extent of having a plane crash, but have had more than my fair share of scary experiences, both jumping out of and flying planes. And that first time back in the plane or first time back under a parachute, it's a real test, man. It's jumping out of an airplane for the first time is not the test. It's jumping out of an airplane or getting back into flying an airplane after something bad has happened. That's the test. That's when you decide, all right, fuck, I'm in this for life. We actually talked about that with Junior. We had a discussion about his father. I can't imagine a harder situation to go through than having your father pass away skydiving and then continue to be a skydiver. And we actually had a bit of a giggle about it because he's like, "Yep, fuck, and I'm a skydiver for life." And there's no doubt about it. And there's not too many sports and not too many types of people that can have that kind of resilience to go, but this is my passion. And yes, sometimes things go wrong and sometimes it happens to the wrong person. But you get back on the horse or get back in the airplane and wow. And you come out the other side that much fucking stronger.
Exactly. It's a level of acceptance. I will admit, like both for Shavon and I, our level of stress for the next year was
Yeah,
pretty
it
severe.
was a lot of
Like
anxiety.
PTS, anxiety, like it was pretty insane.
Dreams,
Like,
waking up in the middle of the night, another dream.
I actually went
PTSD
through-
is no
Yeah.
fucking joke.
I went through some pretty serious scenarios. Like it got pretty bad for a while.
Sure.
But we worked through it, and
But that's what's so special about the sport is I can't imagine, even, after going through the plane crash and having friends die and whatnot, just being like, no, I'm not going to do it anymore.
No.
Because it gives me so much
Sure.
that a lot of things in life can't. And
Sure.
it's such a powerful thing. And you have to come to peace with it and say, I'm still going to jump. And
Sure. Well, I think that happens to most jumpers anyway. It certainly happened to me where you have that that moment where you have to face the facts and go, okay, well, this is the reality of it, and this is what can happen, and you have to consciously and soberly decide, nope, I'm a skydiver, or no, I'm not a skydiver. When I was learning how, I had a turnaround point on the freeway. If I drove past this point, I was going jumping. But any time before that point, I could turn around and fuck off back home, and I didn't have to feel like a pussy. But I could not turn around once I went past that point. And the same thing happens in the career, and it's not a matter of feeling like a pussy or not. It's I can't give this up anymore, And there comes that point where you just can't go past. And if you go past that and you continue to jump, that's it. I'll be a jumper for the rest of my life. Even if I eventually stop, when I eventually stop jumping because my body's just too broken up to do it anymore, I'll still be a skydiver at heart for my entire life, without a doubt. And anybody I know that's been in any sport any length of time will be as well, whether you're jumping or not. Yeah, it doesn't really matter. So you've done all these things. You've had some amazing stuff. You've had some freaky stuff, some really scary stuff. What's next? And any big adventures? You going jumping off of shit and going crazy, or what comes next?
Next is we're always thinking about the next phase in our life, as everyone should. Like, yes, you can skydive forever. You can skydive till the day you die, but you can't work in skydiving till the day you die, or unless you do it while you're skydiving, which doesn't help the tandem passenger in front of you. So if you're a tandem passenger, don't.
Yeah, we're not going out that way.
We're not going out that way. We don't want to do it. So, we've got some ideas. We want to move to have our own land, build our own house. We want to have a farm, be self-sustainable, still be involved in skydiving somewhat, but it's time to kind of dial it back a little bit and start thinking of the end game.
So take the sport more as a pleasure instead of a career.
Yeah. Minimal work. I've been working in the sport very hardcore for basically almost 15 years straight.
Sure.
So it's time to dial it back. Think about the family. Think about the end game. Think about the retirement.
Sure.
I've made it. I'm out for right now. I'm alive.
Right. Isn't that funny? That's kind of one of those things, too. Is there's been many times I remember when I started my skydiving career, there were, and I'm not a religious person at all, but I'd lay in bed and go, all right, I just want to see my kid graduate high school. All right, I just want to see her graduate college. All right, I just want to see her get married. So I'd make these deals. All right, I'll keep doing this shit, but I want this or I want that.
Do you really want to see her get married?
No.
Come on now.
If I'm being perfectly honest, while she was a kid, I was really pulling for her being a lesbian because I figured I could deal with that a lot more than her finding somebody like me. Luckily, she found a great guy, at least for now, and if she's smart, she'll hang on to him. And Chris, don't fuck it up. And she didn't take after me. She's actually taken her big test to be a lawyer today. Right now, whatever the LSAT.
Good luck.
LSAT.
Good luck at the LSAT.
Yeah, she's taking the LSAT as we speak. She's probably sitting there scratching her head, and she's going to kick ass on it. She wants to be an attorney. So
Smarter than all three of us combined.
absolutely, and thank fuck she didn't get that from me at all. Luckily, she still has a bit of a wild side and likes to jump out of airplanes and do all that stuff. But luckily, she didn't take that route. But she went the different direction. I've been lucky in that I was able to transition out of skydiving as a job and go to flying as a job. And I went to the airlines for a while, but hated it. So now I'm lucky. I've got the best of both worlds. I get to fly planes, which I love doing. I'm still in the sport, which I love being in because I've still got the joy of the community and all. And now when I go to skydive, it's because it's fun.
Yeah.
And it's only for fun. I don't do it for work anymore. Yeah. And one of the funnest things that I've discovered, as odd as it sounds, is how much better everybody is than me. It's amazing. The tunnel, the great equalizer, has turned 200 jump wonders into ridiculous flyers. And I've got kids with no jump numbers whatsoever flying circles around me, and I'm giggling and flailing like a student. And the funny thing is, and I told one of our newer pilots the same thing, I'm jealous of where he's at in jump numbers because I think he's got only 80 jumps. But I remember that as being the most exciting time because every single jump was insane, and every jump was so much fun, and you were learning all across the way. And although we're still learning even late in this career, all I'm learning is there's a lot of things I'm never going to be able to do.
Acceptance.
Right.
Acceptance. I've accepted that I'm never going to be standing on a podium. I'm never going to be some badass swooper. I'm never going to be a...
But it's not any less fun then.
No, not at all. Well, in that respect, it's a lot like golf in that you don't have to be good to enjoy it. Obviously, the consequences of sucking really bad in our sport are slightly more horrific than golf, but you don't have to be an amazing skydiver to have a great time about it. You just have to be safe and enjoy yourself. That's the key to it, is you're out there to have fun. And we've been lucky. We've been able to be kids, big fucking kids, for a very long time.
Very long time.
I'm gonna be a big kid my entire life.
Right. And that's changed nowadays, huh? It's like everybody's so serious about it. They're like so serious how they look, so serious how their social media look. Like, check out this photo, check out this video. Like, look how cool I look. It's like I've got 50 jumps and a whole brand new kit.
So serious.
Yep.
So serious. It's like, no.
No, they want to grow up so
So fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they remind you of teenagers, yeah?
Absolutely. And when they've got to be instant badasses and everything, and no. I like being woefully ignorant about a lot of things, and I'm good at what I do, and I'm happy at what I do, and I don't like the big parties anymore and all that. It's perfect. Random.
I don't like the big parties. I like the massive parties. The big parties are for the kids. The massive parties are for the legends.
Well, see, I like the intimate parties that are massive. Those are the ones that I like. The ones that are just big parties because they've got huge crowds don't attract me at all. The massive parties is because you've got half a dozen people that are just insanely fun to hang around. Those are the best parties, and those are the ones that generally get way more out of control. And I dare say we've all had our fair share of those.
Nah, not me.
Hopefully some more.
Not me.
Lots more to come.
I don't know what you guys are.
Lots more to come.
Hopefully some more.
So the future for you guys is going to be fun jumping and living a semi-normal life.
Yeah, I think for
Never normal. Never normal.
Yeah. Working in skydiving, and what skydiving has given us is, it's not working for the man. I mean, essentially it is. We do work for somebody, but it's not the normal 9 to 5.
No.
And I think it's shown us that we don't have to have the 9 to 5. We can do whatever we want on our own. So we want to build our own place and live off the land and work for ourselves.
Sure.
And everything we do is going to be to self-sustain ourselves, and we work for us,
Isn't that cool?
for us. And it's easier than you think. And I think skydiving has helped us get into this kind of
it
thing
teaches you that nothing's impossible.
Yeah.
If you can do what we do, what most people consider absolutely insane, and consider it, just another Tuesday.
And nowadays, make an insane amount of money doing it.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, I make a better living now, flying people that are jumping out of airplanes than I ever could have working for the airlines.
Correct.
And I don't even fly with shoes on.
Right.
I don't even wear shoes to work.
Sometimes you have to wear a collar.
Well,
every once in a while.
I was talking to some non-skydivers and telling them how we were going to go create our own place, our own farm, and raise everything. And they said, "Well, what are you going to do for work?" that is our work.
That's it.
But what are you going to do for money?
That's it.
No, that's what we're going to do.
That's how we're going to make it.
That's what we're going to do.
That's 14 hours a day.
And they just couldn't see, what are you going to do?
They just can't see outside the box, and it's. I'm sure you guys probably look at it the same way as me. I'm so sad for some of these people that think that this is the only mold. It's the 9 to 5, and it has to be this way. And I've never, ever, not once, lived my life by the so-called rules. And I've done better than so many people, and I'm happier than so many people. And I don't need to be stinking filthy rich. I know a lot of miserable rich people.
Yeah.
Yes.
Money has nothing to do with it.
That's why people cut away. Huh?
Absolutely.
You cut away from that lifestyle.
Absolutely. The money is nice, but at the end of the day, if it's happiness or money, fuck the money. I'll go sell coconuts on the beach in Bali any day of the week if that's going to get me by and I'm happy, you know.
Absolutely.
And I think that's probably the biggest key that I've ever taken away from the sport is that the standard life that's sold to people and packaged up and boxed in this perfect, Apple box, and you're supposed to go and live this exact life is just bullshit.
Yeah.
And there's so many different ways to do it. And it's not that you can't do that. You can absolutely do that. But there's so much more to go experience as well. If that was my message to anybody, anytime, it would be, sure, live your 9-to-5 life and do that stuff, but step outside that box every once in a while, because holy shit, there's something out there for you.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, you think about people who, like, you guys are very old school skydivers, started...
She just fucking called us
you guys
old.
Yeah, she just called it old.
Started as packers, worked your way up the line, you know. And I would go to anybody that's starting that skydiving journey that wants to quit their 9-to-5 and become a packer or become whatever, a tandem instructor. You know, do it. Do it because, you know, why not?
Oh, yeah.
Wouldn't you rather do something that you love? And even if you're, packing parachutes. I'm sorry, I don't know how anybody can enjoy doing that.
Oh,
But
are you kidding me? It's making money off of lazy people.
Absolutely. No, it
You
is
wanna be
awesome.
lazy?
But
It's
that's
awesome.
the thing.
Perfect. I'll take your money.
You can quit a successful job and pack parachutes and be around people that you love, be around a sport that you love, make money to do what you love,
And be dramatically happier.
and be dramatically happier, even though you're not, you know, a lawyer or whatever it is, or this profound, you know, job that society views as, you know.
Well, I
high
can't count
society.
how many times I've taken those people and very, very wealthy people on skydives. And one in particular, a guy came out to make a tandem in Las Vegas, and he came out in a limousine. Clearly a businessman wearing his suit, and he had a duffel bag with some sweats that he goes to get changed in. It was the end of the day. Nobody else wanted to jump, and myself and a guy by the name of Simon ended up having to do the jump. Simon was taking the tandem, and I was shooting the video.
Simon Wade.
Simon Wade, absolutely. So hats off to Simon Wade,
Yes,
who
hats
gave
off,
me my
buddy.
tandem instructor rating.
Ooh, he gave it to you, I bet.
Yeah, he did. Motherfucker.
Yeah, fuck you, Simon.
Motherfucker, right? Bald-ass English prick.
Yeah.
No, I love the guy. But, so he was doing the tandem, I was doing the video, and this guy was obviously just Joe businessman and super wrapped up in everything, and we had to talk him into putting his phone down to get him in a harness and all this stuff, and nobody else wanted to do the jump. And we get him in the airplane, we finally get him to loosen up, and I'm shooting the video, and we're having a little bit of fun with him. And we go out and make the skydive, and of course it's exactly what you think. He has this mind-blowing experience because a guy like that doesn't know what living in the moment is like, because his moment is filled up with cell phone, business meeting, I've got to be here, I've got to be there. There's no such thing as shutting it off to a guy like that. And so for that 60 seconds of free fall and that 5 minutes of canopy ride, nothing else exists for him. And he lands, and he's just over the moon. And he comes up to me after the jump, and he had talked to Simon first, and he comes over to me, and he gives me a big hug, which is, of course, out of character for this business guy, whose hair's all fucked up, and he doesn't care that he's wearing sweats anymore. And he palms me a tip as he's telling me, I would give anything to trade places with you. And he's probably, I don't know, late 50s at the time, and I'm in my early 20s at the time. And it was the most sincere look I'd ever gotten from somebody. So I would give anything to trade places with you. You do this. You enjoy it. And he walks away and gets in his fucking limousine. And I feel this wad of cash in my hand. And I'm thinking it's like a bunch of 20s. It's a $100 bill. And I open it up, and he tipped me $1,000.
Yeah.
Tipped Simon $1,000 as well. And, of course, we went and fanned that $1,000 in everybody else's faces for not wanting to do the jump. Yeah. But what I took away from that was, holy shit. This guy has everything I've been taught I'm supposed to want my entire fucking life, and he just told me he'd trade anything to have the life that I'm living at 20-something.
Yeah. And he has the money to do it, too.
Absolutely. And I took that to heart, you know, and that memory stuck with me more than most in that I'm like, wow, okay, this is a guy who's where I'm supposed to want to be, and he'd rather be where I am. Maybe something's, you know, rotten in Denmark here, and it turns out he was right, because, you know, at the end of a 23-year, not even the end, the middle, let's say middle, I'll be greedy. The middle of a 23-year career, I couldn't imagine trading places with him, with anybody that does that. No. The fancy cars and the 12-hour work days and the stressing over all that bullshit, and
Keep it. 12, they probably work.
Yeah,
They probably
12, yeah.
were 16, 18.
Absolutely, and they're still
12
working.
is a long day for us.
Absolutely, and they're still working when they're
Short
laying
day
down
for
in
them.
bed because their
Yeah.
heads won't shut off. And if
Yeah.
anything, I'm daydreaming about going and making another jump.
But maybe that's what, we started this whole conversation, this whole podcast about, talking about, like, what is the whole or towards skydiving and the community and all this. It's that cut away from what the norm, the society, what tells you you're supposed to do. You can cut away and enjoy and do what you're supposed to do.
Sure.
For yourself and not for everybody else. And it's easier than you think it is.
It's scarier, but it's easier. And it's so much more rewarding on the other side. It's a terrifying leap. I mean, I can't imagine a scarier thing. I was lucky in that I didn't have to step away from normal life because I never lived one. So it was very easy for me to transition from one type of weird to another type of weird. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine anything more rewarding at the end of the day. Well, cool. I think that's a pretty amazing way to end it off and a hell of a message. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Yeah.
All right.
Same thing.
Ladies and gentlemen, all right, that's the podcast for the day. Pat and Shavon telling some stories and surviving plane crashes. Tune in next time, but for the meantime, that one was pretty fucking amazing. All right, blue skies, guys.
Cheers.
See ya. Well, there you have it. Another episode of the Lunatic Fringe podcast brought to you, as always, by, well, wait, not as always, actually. Brought to you now by Gyro. Formerly known as NZ Aerosports, you'll head to gyro.com for their next level line of canopies. By Pussfoot, the Extreme Sports Collective. Head over to pussfoot.com to check it out. By Summit Parachute Systems, check out summitparachutesystems.com to talk to Jarrett Martin and the gang about kick-ass pilot rigs, rigging courses, and more. By Flyaway Indoor Skydiving, go to flyawaytn.com and check out all the cutting-edge stuff to come. By Pure Spectrum CBD, head to purespectrumcbd.com to check out their wide range of CBD products. And as for us, head to the lunaticfringepodcast.com to listen to any of the hundreds of episodes currently available, hit the link for our YouTube channel, pick up your copy of the Lunatic Fringe book or The Accidental Stripper, and get a sneak peek at upcoming guests. Once again, thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Damn.